The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. Bet $50 at WinBet and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Download the WinBet app now or visit wynnbet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already play fantasy on Sleeper, but now you can win cold hard cash with our over or under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group. And Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. That's sleeper.com/SGP. And make sure to check out our relaunched merch store where you can get all your favorite SGP and gear. Go to store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford. I am perched up in Newcastle upon Tyne. In red hot Newcastle upon Tyne. It was 31 degrees at some points today. It was incredible. Up on the northeast coast of England. Today is Sunday, July the 10th. And we are here to preview a 10-game MLB slate for Monday, July the 11th. And joining me is the man with all the lines, Mr. Dylan Rockford. Dylan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, Malcolm. How are you? Quick question. What is 31 degrees in Fahrenheit over here?
Oh, don't ask me. Mate, you know better than to ask me any kind of follow-up question to anything I've said.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to know because 32 is cold over here on the East Coast.
Oh, well, that's probably right. But yeah, I mean, all the people in Newcastle are pale blue. That's what colour we are. That's the climate in this area. Means that we're just a race of pale blue people. So when it's hot, it doesn't happen very often. So yeah, my little boy Bob's running around with a bright red face because he was out in the sunshine all day yesterday. But yeah, it's just makes it very rare. We get about 6 days of sunshine a year, so we're making the most of it. Currently, right in the middle of a glut of day games on the Sunday afternoon, sweating out a few things. My big dog are 5-4 up. The Pittsburgh Pirates. Munaf's getting annoyed with me constantly selecting the Pirates. I think Munaf's got a bit of a problem with the Chicago White Sox. He appears to have fallen in love with them over the last week, and they keep getting him beat. But yeah, I've got the Pirates are 5-4 up. But I went to the well one too many times with the Cleveland Guardians, who are letting me down, or in fact have already let me down. They've lost 5-1. So let's just hope that the Pirates can hang on. The White Sox have got over the line. They've come from behind to cash Munaf's bet of the White Sox on the run line. What were your lock and dog today, Dylan? How are you getting on?
Yeah, so my lock today was the Rangers. I was rolling with them. I had a pretty good week with backing them, but they're down 6-4 in the 8th. Great call on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Don't want to mush it yet. There's still an inning left.
Don't mush it, mate.
Yeah, but no, the Guardians, the last week have been kind of tough. I've been backing them and just offensively, just being able to score one run today, that's not good. I'm also on the Diamondbacks, which 1-0 in the 5th. I'm on the Mariners. They're down 1 in the 5th inning. We just got to continue to fade the Blue Jays, I think.
The Blue Jays are absolutely broken.
Yeah.
They just got every facet of the game. It's really odd to see. I'm not entirely sure what's happened. I know if you follow Johnny Giunda, friend of the show on Twitter, he's been doing his dinger the last few nights. He's been going absolutely berserk, Johnny. It's just proper fandom. Like it's funny when you haven't got a dog in the fight like me. But he's been going absolutely berserk, Johnny. So we've got a 10-game slate tomorrow. There is one double header that I struggled to handicap, but maybe you've got some bits and bobs on that, Dylan. But apart from that, there's some interesting looking games. Looking forward to a new week. It's been a good week. I started Monday. I went 3-9 on Monday night. I was miles behind. By Wednesday, I managed to get myself level. And then by Saturday, I was way in front. I got to about 62%. So if you take that Monday out of the equation, I've been absolutely flying. So it's been a good week and it's been long overdue. Because I've been in bad form. So yeah, a good week was important. I hit some nice priced dogs as well. So we'll try and crack on with those tomorrow. We will start tomorrow with a 2:10 Eastern first pitch, which is the first leg of this double-headed, Dylan. It's the Detroit Tigers at the Kansas City Royals. So the pitching news has just come through for me. It's Pineda is going. Michael Pineda is going for the Detroit Tigers, and Brad Keller goes in game 1. Game 2 is Alex Faedo against Daniel Lynch. Now I'll see if I can find some lines for this one. I'm just trying to update my page here. This is straight over to you anyway, Dylan. But if you take us through what you've got, and I'll see if I can find some lines on any of these games.
Yeah, I actually see lines for the first game at 210. The Royals are a -135 home favorite. Tigers +125. Over under is at 8.5. And that's exactly where I'm going to go. I like the over 8.5 in this first game. I set my line at 8.9. The game in the early afternoon, it's going to be a hot one, 90 degrees. We got wind blowing out. Feel like a meteorologist given the weather update, but we got 9-mile-an-hour winds blowing out of center field. Both teams, they're generally an under team, but as of late, these two teams have been have been involved in some pretty high-scoring games. 3 out of their last 5 games for both teams have gone over this number, but I think more importantly, this is a fade on Carlos Hernandez. First game back in over a month, so I'm going to fade him. I expect the Tigers to jump on him early, so I'm going to go over 8.5.
So you got Hernandez pitching game 1 for Kansas?
Yeah.
Okay, you say I've got Brad Keller. This is the thing with this doubleheader. It was TBD pitches right up until maybe about 20 minutes ago. I know Noah has been in touch. Who keeps a closer eye on the Tigers than we do, and he said it was Pineda and Faedo. So I think we've got the Detroit pitchers right, but Kansas. So yeah, I've got nothing. I'm not going to offer anything out, like I say, with a lack of lines and pitches. The second game, Faedo against Lynch, though. Dylan, did you have anything for this at all?
Yeah, so for the first one, I went over. For the second one, I'll go under. I see it at 9.5 right now for the total for the second game. Let me see the lines. Royals are a -130 favorite. Tigers +120. And like I said, the total is at 9.5. And I'm going to go under here. I set my total for the second one, 8.6. It's usually in double headers, whatever position I take for the first game, I like to take the opposite for the second game.
Yeah.
This is the only second start for Pineda on the road this season, which is kind of weird, but he hasn't been terrible this year, going at least 5 innings in every one but one of his starts. So with how good the Tigers bullpen is, I think they could kind of tame the Royals a little bit and keep this under 9.5. So first game going over, second game going under.
Okay, we move on to something that we'll be able to tell you a little bit more about, hopefully. At 6:40 Eastern, first pitch is the Pittsburgh Pirates at the Miami Marlins. Mitch Keller, I believe, gets the start for Pittsburgh, and Trevor Rogers goes for Miami. Pittsburgh are +136 on the money line. Miami are -158. Totally ever set at 8. Mitch Keller is 2-6, has a 5.21 ERA. He's pitched 76 innings with 66 strikeouts. Trevor Rogers is 4-7, 5.57 ERA, 72 innings, 72 and 2/3 innings pitched, 67 strikeouts. Keller's been poor. I was trying all sorts of ways to make a case for him. Just trying to eliminate stuff, really, and you couldn't. There's nothing in his recent performances to recommend him at all. He's given up 3, 4, and 5 in his last 3 starts. Trevor Rogers has had one good start recently against Washington. The rest of those were all 3 earned runs or more. So I think we have to see runs. Miami have been competitive, more than competitive, in fact. They've been doing okay without scoring loads of runs, actually. But Pittsburgh have been both competitive and put some runs up. They've got 5, as we just discussed so far tonight, against Milwaukee. And I do think with a lot of base runners tomorrow, if Keller gives up a lot of contact, I think Miami could run havoc on the bases as well, which I think is going to lend itself to a lot of runs. They are first in stolen bases. We all know that John Bertie's been on a right tear. So I think there could be a little bit of mayhem on the base paths tomorrow night, and that's going to get us some runs over the line as well. So I would lean Miami on the money line, but it's far too short at -158. I'll take the over. Miami are much better at home. Pittsburgh haven't been great away, but are doing better lately. So over 8 for me, Dylan, at -105.
Yeah, I like that. I set my total at 8.2, but I'm going to take a shot here with the Fish here at home. I'm going to take them on the run line plus 135. The Marlins have been playing good baseball, like you said, Malcolm, and they've been doing it with their pitching and defense, not scoring a lot of runs. They beat the Mets 2-0 today in the 10th inning, and I think they're doing it without Josh Chisenhall, too. He's been out of the lineup for a lot of their games. They split 2 games with the Mets this series, so I like this Marlin team. I think they're going to be very competitive. If they add a few more bats, I think they could really can compete. But I can't trust Mitch Keller here on the road. In his last 3 games, he's allowed 3 or more runs in each one of his starts. So with how bad the Pirates are on the road, and I'm going to be fading Keller, I'll take a shot at this plus money Fish minus 1.5.
Yeah, Captain Insano, the fantasy legend, is in the comments here saying that Pittsburgh, he might look at Pittsburgh with Miami maybe as a letdown spot. They've beaten the Mets tonight in extras, like you just said. Miami back at home could be a bit of a letdown spot there. We mentioned the Pittsburgh traveling schedule last week because I think they had to fly in somewhere for a one-off game. And like kind of a makeup game in between a couple of away series as well. So they're finishing Milwaukee tonight, then straight off to Miami. So it's not a great spot for them either. Captain Insano might have a valid point there, but again, I'll stick with the overs, not having a strong lean, and we can put a line through either of the teams in potential letdown situations there. Next is a 7:10 Eastern first pitch between the Boston Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays. Brian Bello, my guy, is going for the Boston Red Sox. And Jeffrey Springs is the pitcher that I've got. There's quite a lot of these pitchers have got RTBD. In fact, Captain Encino's just pointed out that Pittsburgh are a TBD, but I think Mitch Keller's going to go. So, Dylan, if you do have any different news to me, point it out. But I've got Jeffrey Springs going for the Tampa Bay Rays here. Against Boston. I've got no lines at all, probably something to do with that TBD pitcher. So I'll throw this across to you, Dylan. Any lines if you've got them, and then give us your feel for this Bello against Springs.
Yeah, so I have my lines, lines that I've seen. I made the Rays a minus 170 favorite, minus 1.5, plus 110. Same thing on the opposite side. Red Sox plus 170, plus 1.5 is minus 110. So, and I also made my total 8.1. I like the Rays here. I made them a heavy favorite, honestly, because of the success they've had against the Red Sox this year. Last 5 meetings between the two teams, the Rays have won 4 of them. Plus, the Red Sox are kind of in a slump right now. They did have that nice walk-off win against the Red Sox that we saw last night, but Bello, he faced the Rays last week in his major league debut, and he didn't even last 5 innings. He gave up 4 runs on 6 hits, and the Red Sox lost that game 7-1. So depending on how this line opens up, I'll most likely be on the Rays here, or if we get nice plus price, I'll probably be on them on the run line.
Mate, can you give me your money line prices again that you were?
So money line, I made the Rays a minus 170, Red Sox plus 170.
Okay. It's not going to surprise you to know I'm taking Brian Bello in this situation. I've got high hopes for him. I think he's okay. He pitched quite well in that game last week against Tampa. He was a little bit unlucky. I think he gave out some 2-out contact. He was a bit unfortunate on a cold third strike here and there. So yeah, I'm going to continue to back Bello, and at the same time, I'm also fading Springs. Springs has been just regressing, sort of start on start fairly recently. So a pitcher that I'm in on against a pitcher that I'm out on. Give me Boston. I know we've got the Sunday night late game and then the travel situation. We've got the Wander Franco injury that Captain Encino's pointed out. I saw that in the Discord channel earlier on. Notice I said Discord channel, not Slack channel, people. We have moved across to Discord. More people keep making me do technical things that I am ill-equipped to do. So I had to try and sign myself up for that. I've got notifications on Discord, and I haven't been able to find out what it's notifying me of all day today. So I'm working my way through it. But in the new Discord channel, the injury to Wander Franco was highlighted earlier up. So, yeah, possibly 6 weeks out with a hamate, whatever that is, for Wander Franco. So that'll be a little bit of blow for this already slightly anemic Tampa Bay lineup for me. So I'll take my guy on the money line with the Boston Red Sox. Next up is a 7:10 Eastern first pitch between the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Guardians. Lance Lynn gets a start for the White Sox, and Cal Quantrill is on the hill for the Guardians, who are even money underdogs. Lance Lynn and the White Sox are slight favourites at -115. Totally errors set at 9. Back to you, Dylan. Intriguing looking game, this one. This was a fun game to handicap. Lynn against Quantrill.
Yeah, I think this is one of the better matchups we have for Monday's slate. I did make the White Sox a -125 favorite, so I think this is a good matchup, like I said, between Lynn and my boy Cal Quantrill. As much as I like Cal, I would be cautious, like I said earlier in the show, to be back in the Guardians right now. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games, and they're just struggling to win games right now. But Lance Lynn, he's been great for the White Sox this season. This team's actually won 4 of his 5 starts this season, and the team is just better on the road than at home, surprisingly. So I'll be on the south side here, and I'm actually seeing lines at -110. So shop around,
Yeah, this was like I say, it was tricky to handicap this. This was a bit almost too tricky for me. It was head scratching. I kept changing my mind on this one. I am going to take the White Sox. I've faded them a lot recently. They've just looked a little bit broken. There's 2 or 3 sides. The Angels being another one. The Blue Jays we've mentioned. They just look slightly dysfunctional at the minute. But the Guardians haven't been great themselves. They got that one good win behind Tristan McKenzie, which I was on the right side of, and I think I've maybe talked through my pocket a little bit after that on the Cleveland Guardians. They've let me down today. The White Sox are showing a little bit more. And yeah, we'll take Lance Lynn. Yeah, it's a close one. But you say the White Sox are a little bit better on the road. So -115 against the struggling Guardians side. I'll co-sign that Chicago White Sox money line with you. Next is 7:15 first pitch. It's the Philadelphia Phillies and the St. Louis Cardinals, which is Aaron Nola for the Phillies and Miles Mikolas for St. Louis. To pick him, -110 each of 2. Total set at 7.5 here. Second best pitching matchup of the night, behind one we're going to come to in a little while. Nola is 5-6 with a 3.15 ERA. Has pitched 111.1 innings with 120 strikeouts. Mikolas is 5-7, 2.72 ERA, 106 innings, 83 strikeouts. This was just ticking boxes towards the under everywhere you looked. Nola, 2.45 in his last 5, 2.13 on the road, 0 earned runs in 15 innings pitched against NL Central opposition. Miles Mikolas, 2.23 in his last 5, 2.60 at home, 2.15 against NL East. You couldn't find an angle in that was going to get this over. The Cards' bats have been slightly underwhelming me as well lately. The Phillies lineup, the Phillies have been going along a little bit better than I thought they would since Bryce Harper was missing. 7.5 is low, but it's low for a reason, and I think it's good chalk. So I'll take the under here. I'll be interested to see what your line was, Dylan.
Yeah, my line was 7.1. I do like the under with these 2 pitchers, but I'm actually going to take a side in this one. Give me the Phillies here on the road. I made them a -115 favorite with Nola on the mound. You mentioned it. Just 2 teams just going in different directions. Philly, they've won 4 of the last 5 games, while the Cardinals have lost 8 of their last 10 games. The Phillies have also won 4 of the last 5 meetings between these 2 teams. I feel like they just have the Cardinals number this season. So also, I think you mentioned it as well. I love how Nola's been pitching on the road this season. He's only given up 1 run in his last 3 starts on the road. I just think this is a bad spot for the Cardinals to go up against Nola here. So give me the Phillies, and I also do like the under.
Okay, so Phillies and under there for Dylan. All of these lines are to be found at the Win, where you can avail yourself of the bet $50 to win $200 promotion. A $50 bet will qualify you for up to $200 in free bets. And if you're betting baseball, which let's face it, if you're not, why are you listening to us rabble? Check out the WinBet have a reduced juice in baseball games at the moment, which makes them the best place to bet MLB. Nothing not to like about that. If you bet $500 or more on Sports or Casino before July the 31st, You'll be entered to win the ultimate fantasy football draft experience at Encore Beach Club, which includes a 2-night stay at Wynn Resorts for you and your entire league. There's lots to choose from. Download the WinBet app or visit wynnbet.com to get started. Offer subject to change. T's and C's at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. I will also tell you about Sleeper. Fantasy football is right around the corner. It's creeping up. I'm dead excited. Sleeper is the app that I use. I'm sure you do as well, but they've added a little over or under game on there. So you can make a few quid as well. Really easy to play. Pick your sport, pick your players, pick your props, and then you can select your own stake. You can win anywhere from 2 to 20 times that stake by being right. The chat app's loads of fun as well. You can copy your friends' picks. You can all get in there together, have a little bit of smack talk. If you use the code sleeper.com/SGPMLB, Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. So sleeper.com/SGPMLB is the code to use to get your $100 match. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. I like to throw out a little Sleeper play occasionally after we've been talking about them. And I went back to that Pittsburgh-Miami game where we're looking at total bases. I thought there might be some base pass-related mayhem. So have a look at John Bertie, total bases. He's been leading the lineup. He can hit. And if he gets on base, he'll snag a bag or two. So see what his total bases are and have a look at John Bertie and get across to sleeper.com and avail yourself of some of the action over there. Next up is, I am not going to forget, in the top left-hand corner, the New York Mets and the Atlanta Braves, which is a 7:20 Eastern first pitch. And this is the pitching matchup of the night between Max Scherzer for the New York Mets and the lefty Max Fried for the Atlanta Braves. The Mets are plus 107, Atlanta minus 125. It's another 7.5 total like the last game. Scherzer is 5-1, 2.26 ERA. He's pitched 55 2/3 with 70 strikeouts. Fried is 9-2 with a 2.52 ERA, 107 1/3 pitched with 100 punches. Scherzer made his comeback after his injury last week against Cincinnati. Scoreless through 6 innings. He is 3-1 so far against NL East opposition. He does have a 4.3 ERA in those games. Max Fried's been great. Won his last 2, only giving up 1 earned run in 13 innings pitched. This is a real pitcher's duel. I looked at the 2 offenses here, and Atlanta, the offense that I trust slightly more at the moment. This is how I handicapped it earlier on. Since then, the Mets have then gone scoreless against the Marlins tonight, so it kind of backs me up a little bit. Is that the Mets are just struggling a little bit. They've been winning close games, but they haven't put up very many runs at all. The presence of Scherzer here makes Max Fried a very backable price. I just trust the Braves more. I trust both pitches. It's going to be close, but I think the Braves are more likely to get it done. It's reflected in the price, but I think minus 125 is fair, and I'll take the Atlanta Braves, Dylan.
Yeah, I like that play, but I'm going to go under here. I can't go against my team because every time it happens, my team winds up winning. So I did make the Braves a minus 135 favorite. So I do think they should be favored. They are the better team right now. But I'll attack the total. I got under 7 at plus money. So under 7.5 at minus 120. I even like that more. I made my line 6.7. The Braves have played 7 games toward the under in their last 10 games. And now with Fried going against Scherzer, I think we see another low-scoring affair. Scherzer looked great in his first start back, striking 11 batters out. The game ended 1-0. To your point, the Mets are struggling to score runs. They scored 0 today. And I think that one game when they scored 8 runs against the Reds, that's an outlier because we scored it all in extra innings. So we are struggling to score runs. So maybe you want to look towards the Braves. I like the under or even a K prop for Scherzer because I think he'll be able to fan a few. So I'll dive under as my official play, though.
The arms are in the air, Dylan, for a 3-run homer by Daniel Vogelbach in the top of the 9th to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pittsburgh 8, Brewers 4. Get in the queue. Get in the queue. Next up is Bosch. 8:05 Eastern first pitch between the Oakland Athletics and the Texas Rangers. It is Adrian Martinez for Oakland. It is Spencer Howard. Is that right? It is Spencer Howard. Okay, that's a change from the last time I looked about 25 seconds ago. I had Glenn Otto, my guy, going, but it's Spencer Howard going for the Texas Rangers. I don't know who you handicapped, Dylan. Oakland are plus 140, Texas minus 165, total set at 9. Did you get Howard as your pitcher, Dylan?
Yeah, I got Howard, but I got Glenn Otto. That's who I handicapped. And I mean, it's still changed, but can I just go with my play since I'm on?
Go for it. Yeah, if you've got, I handicapped Glenn Otto, and I think you've done the same. I mean, that's literally changed since we've been recording, so there's not a fat lot we can do about that. So give us what you've got, mate.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna roll with another run line play here. Take a chance with the Rangers minus 1.5. At the time, I got it at plus 115. Right now, I see plus 115s out there. So any sort of plus price, I'll take a shot here with the Rangers. Both teams are struggling, 4-6 in their last 10 games, so not great. But I do trust the bats a little more than I trust the A's bats. In the last 5 days, the Rangers have averaged 6.2 runs per game. They were able to score 9 twice, 6 one game, while the A's, they've been winning, but closer games, low-scoring games. So I think the bats will continue to stay hot for the Rangers. So I'll take a shot on them with the run line, plus 115.
Yeah, I've got nothing for this at all. Like I said, I handicapped Otto, so I'm not going to go back and have a little guess at that. The Atlanta Braves have just walked off the Washington Nationals in extra innings, 4-3. In 12. That one's gone.
That's not good for the Mets. No,
they're after them, aren't they? You can hear the footsteps. The New York Mets and Dylan can hear the footsteps. 2 games left to handicap here. 8:40 Eastern first pitches. The San Diego Padres and the Colorado Rockies. Sean Manaea, left-handed pitcher for San Diego, and Jose Urena for the Colorado Rockies, who are a plus 115. Home puppy, Dylan. He is pricked up there. San Diego are minus 135. Total here is 11.5. Sean Manaea, 3-4, 4.18 ERA, has pitched 88 1/3 innings with 92 strikeouts. Urena has yet to record a win or a loss. 2.51 ERA, 14 1/3 pitched with 5 strikeouts. Manaea is struggling. He's walking too many batters. He has a 5.13 ERA in his last 5 starts. He's had two career appearances at Colorado, which is always worth a look at in this alien environment. They were both for Oakland, both exactly the same. 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. So that kind of gives you a little steer. He hasn't been terrible, but he did give up some runs there. I think the last thing Manaea needs really is a start at Colorado. He could do with it. He needs a home start against some soft opposition to get back on the horse, because he has been struggling. Urena has only had 1 start for Colorado last week. We expected him to get smashed all over, and he was absolutely brilliant against the LA Dodgers. You can't trust him though. I wrote this has to be over. Unless I said, I hope it's not 12.9. My notes say, hope it's not 12.5. Sorry. It is 11.5. It's a big number, but I'm not having Manaea, and Urena last week had to be an outlier. So let's see if we can go run crazy and get this over 11.5 to them.
Yeah, I'm going to take a side here. I like the Padres here on the road. I'm surprised they're this short of a favorite. I actually made the Padres over a $2 favorite. So Sean Manaea, he's actually pitched better on the road than at home this season. And now going up against a Rockies team who they've been struggling, in my opinion. Both teams are actually struggling, but the Padres are a really good road team at 26 and 18 straight up. I think going up to elevation, we will get a higher scoring game, especially since we have 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing out of left field. As for the total, I set my line at 13, so I do like the overplay, but I just trust the Padres and Manaea just a little more. So I like the over, and I also like the Padres here on the money line.
I can't believe you had the Padres up to a $2 favorite, Dylan. I don't think you could pay me to back them tomorrow. Anyway, next and finally, a 9:45 Eastern first pitch between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants. Merrill Kelly is the starter for the D-backs, and Alex Cobb goes for the Giants. The D-backs are plus 136. Your favourites are the San Francisco Giants at minus 158, with the total set at 8. Merrill Kelly 7-5, 3.42 ERA, 97 and 1/3 pitched with 80 strikeouts. Alex Cobb is 3-3, 4.74 ERA, 57 innings pitched, 59 strikeouts. Kelly's been consistent, 3.62 over his last 5. He did face the Giants in his last start, pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs on 2 hits. I pretty much can expect that same line again. I trust Kelly to do something very, very similar. Alex Cobb gave up, he played against Arizona in his last start as well, gave up 4 earned runs. He had been going a little bit better before that, though, Cobb. It looks under to me. It is a pitcher's park. San Francisco was struggling 2-8 in their last 10. I think they're going to get a win tonight, possibly. Again, I handicapped all of these games before I saw any lines. And I have written down I will lean Arizona if I get a good price. I think Arizona here is a good price. I don't mind Merrill Kelly. I think he's consistent. They're going to be in the game. So plus 136, I thought represents fair value for the D-backs, Dylan.
Yeah, so I actually made the Giants a minus 160 favorite, so I need at least a plus 160 to be on the D-backs. But I'm going to go with another total here. I'm going under 8. I set my line at 7.6. All the trends are telling you to take the over, but I honestly think with how good Cobb has pitched at home recently, and with Merrill Kelly, like you said, being as consistent as ever on the other side, I think we see a lower scoring game than these two teams have been playing. So I actually like both. First 5 under, and I like the under in the full game.
Captain Insano's fading Alex Cobb as well. So it looks like looks like a team ride. So yeah, we do enjoy a team ride here on the MLB Gambling Podcast. So let's go that way. We've got our lock and dog picks to come momentarily. I'll first tell you about Trade Coffee. Trade Coffee will send you freshly roasted beans from 60 of the country's best craft roasters, small businesses who get a fair price to farm sustainably. The greatest beans from around the world. So if you're a coffee snob or you just love your coffee, you'll get to choose from over 450 roasts. If you answer a couple of questions, you'll get your own personalised variety delivered fresh to you as often as you like. They'll deliver a whole bag as either whole beans or ground for however you brew it at home. And if you don't love your first order, they will replace it for free. They've got more than 750,000 positive reviews, over 5 million bags of coffee delivered. Trade are offering new subscribers a total of $30 off the first order plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/SGP. That's over 40 cups of coffee for free. Get started by taking their quiz at drinktrade.com/SGP and let Trade find you a coffee that you love. That's drinktrade.com/SGP for $30 off. I will briefly tell you about IPVanish. IPVanish is a VPN that will make you truly private and secure on the internet. They'll encrypt all your private details, passwords, communications, browsing history, etc. Keep you virtually invisible online. You can use it on unlimited devices. You can even stream stuff with your Fire Stick without any let up in the speed of what you want to do. And IPVanish are offering 70% to our listeners off their yearly plan. Dead easy to use. Take your privacy back with the brand rated 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot. Go to ipvanish.com/SGP. Use that promo code SGP. Claim your 70% savings. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. Okay, lock and dog time. I feel like we whistled through those 10 games. I know there was a couple that we couldn't give opinions out on. So limited choices here, but I've got my 2 noted down. Dylan, hit us with your lock and your dog for Monday's games.
Hopefully we don't get another the dog like last time. But so I'll start with my lock. We just talked about it's the pitching matchup between Max Fried and Scherzer. I'm gonna go under 7.5. I still like it at 7 if you could get plus money. The Braves they've just been playing a lot of games towards the under. 7 of their last 10 have gone over. I think with Fried going and how the Mets have been struggling to score runs, I think this game stays under 7.5. As for my lock, or for my dog, excuse me, it was one of the early games we talked about between the Pirates and Marlins. I'm going to take a shot here with the Fish at home, -1.5, plus 135. They've been playing some good baseball right now, the Marlins, and they've been doing it with their pitching and their defense, and this is going to be a fade on Mitch Keller. I think Trevor Rogers, he's not a lot better. He's a little better than Mitch Keller. So going to fade him, fade the Pirates on the road, and I'll take the Marlins on the run line.
Okay, nice one. I got a feeling you were going to go for one of those two unders in the two pitching duels. So I've taken the under in the other one, the Philadelphia St. Louis game, the Nola and Mikolas game. Same bet, under 7.5. Like I said, the minute I started handicapping this game, it was just ticks in boxes for the under. Any which way you tried to dress it up, I couldn't get over 7.5 runs. So I locked that one up. My dog, I had a couple of options. And I might call an audible here, I'm going to call an audible. I had Arizona written down at plus 136. I like Boston Red Sox a lot better. We've had a little bit of chat about it here with Captain Insano. I like Brian Bello. I'm fading Springs. Tampa Bay have a lot of injuries. Added Wander Franco to the list that they already had. And a better price as well. You made it round about plus 170, I think, Dylan. So more points than we're getting with Arizona. So I'll go out on a limb. And I'll take the Boston Red Sox, trying to appease Munaf by taking his Boston Red Sox here at plus 170 as my underdog. I've got a bit of a twitchy bum here. The Brewers are mounting a little fight back in the bottom of the ninth. They've scored 2 runs, but the Pirates are two ahead, and the Brewers are 2 out. So hopefully they should be able to get me over the line. Dylan, what's happening this week? Anything we need to know before we crack on?
No, hopefully we can push a lot of content out before All-Star break. Hopefully we have some Home Run Derby picks. Home Run Derby is on my birthday, July 18th. Don't forget, Malcolm. And yeah, so hopefully we get a lot of content out, a lot of winners, and hopefully the Mets can keep this 1.5 game lead before the All-Star break.
Well, we missed Noah's birthday last week. We recorded a show and Noah didn't tell anyone it was his birthday last Thursday or Friday. His 21st birthday as well, for that matter. So happy birthday, happy belated birthday, Noah, from everyone at the MLB Gambling Podcast. You mentioned in the Home Run Derby there, Dylan.
Yeah.
They had the Home Run Derby X in London yesterday. Did you see any of this?
No, who won?
The Yankees won. The Yankees beat the Dodgers, but it didn't half look shit. I'm going to be honest with you. It was the batters were up on a podium, and there was an old player, a sort of famous ex-professional MLB player. There was a celebrity, and by celebrity, I think it's maybe what you young people would call a celebrity. So it was like a YouTuber, or, someone who plays on the Xbox or rides a skateboard for a living, that kind of celebrity. Yeah. Not someone I knew. And then, maybe an influencer, is that the word? Anyway, I mean, as shit as I've made it sound, that's how shit it was. So they were hitting bombs off the podium while someone who plays Xbox for a living was running around trying to catch him. And there was about 20,000 people turned up at Crystal Palace in London to watch this yesterday. So, yeah, I think the next one's there's one in Germany, maybe. I think there's one in Korea as well, in Seoul in Korea.
Now, is that just real quick, is that the layout of everyone? It's one ex-player versus, I guess, a YouTuber or an influencer?
Yeah. There's 3 or 4 on each team, and it's a player, then someone that you're supposed to know, then someone to get the kids involved. So, I mean, it was a brave attempt by MLB to get something going. I'm pleased I didn't spend a lot of money traveling all the way down to London to watch it, because it looked a bit shit. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening. Thanks for getting involved in the chats as well. Don't forget that the Discord channel is the place to be. We have moved from Slack, and it's not just the MLB Discord channel. There's a million different channels. The Fat Guy Food Aisle is a great place to be as well. So there's loads of fun people, there's loads of smart people, and there's, more importantly, loads of funny people in there. So get across to that. Thank you for listening. We'll be back at some point tomorrow to get on with the rest of the week. So enjoy your Monday games. Let's have a good start of the week, everybody. And we will see you down the road. Cheers.